differences in emotionality.
Hi, I'm Bec from Be Free Emotional Fitness Training, and I support women and girls to become emotionally stronger.
And I'm Vern from Move Forward Mentoring, and I specialise in male mentoring, helping boys and men find their passion, speak from their heart, and build better relationships.
And together we are rekindling relationships. We work with couples through mentoring sessions as well as facilitating communication and creative workshops to build deeper connections.
Welcome to our podcast, designed to help you strengthen and bring more fun into your partnership, as well as create a more loving, healthy, and strong connection.
Hi everyone.
Hey, how are you all going? So we're talking about differences in emotionality. What does that mean even?
Yeah, you might find yourself in a relationship where one person is very emotionally expressive and the other is not expressive.
So the other one's more suppressive, so the other one just doesn't actually...
and they just might not view it as an important thing.
Okay.
So, one might value exploring their emotions where the other one just believes in being a bit more logical and don't explore that path too much. That can create issues.
Now, probably there's a lot of that. We look at it as a very masculine-feminine divide, where the feminine is more likely to speak about their feelings and what's going on for them, and the masculine is more likely to sort of shut them down.
Be a bit more logical.
And a bit more maybe up in their heads about it.
Mm.
And I don't think that means that we can't work it out, but it does mean that it can be tricky.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you're male or female. If you've got someone, if you're with someone and they're just very, I need to tell you all the things that's going on for me right now. And let me explore that with you.
Sounds like you've been there.
And possibly. And you're like, I've just wanted to
sit down and watch Netflix.
When's the next, what season are we up to with Breaking Bad? So if we don't know how to meet in the middle, that can be tricky, can't it?
Yeah, one will feel like they're not getting their needs met, like the one that wants to unload, and that can be tricky. And even other emotions can be tricky to navigate in a relationship where somebody might be quite open at expressing their anger and the other might be really triggered by that.
Yeah, someone might have grown up in a household where anger was never positive or it was never contained. It was always maybe explosive thing or scary thing. They might have had a parent who would yell and scream and lose it. And so now when conflict comes up in a relationship and there's anger, they might just shut down.
Yeah, that can be very confronting for some people. Has this been a trigger for you in the past with relationships with anger?
I think that I don't like it when someone gets angry with me, because in the past when someone's got angry with me, I've been made to feel quite bad about it.
You're not that comfortable with anger?
No. No. But I can get angry. So I can actually express it, but sometimes I'm a little bit explosive or reactive. And I don't want to be. I like to try and, operate from a calmer space, but sometimes that doesn't happen.
Your anger doesn't trigger me at all.
Why is that?
I don't know. You're just not. I don't think it's ever directed at me. I think that's the difference. I don't feel threatened by it. It's like, it's just letting off steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see, you recognize that. So rather than you getting triggered by it, trying to stop me from doing it, you go, he's just like frustrated about this thing. Once he's done, everything's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't trigger me at all.
I sometimes do get triggered by you when you have got angry. And when you've thrown things, and you haven't thrown them at me.
Just for people out there, I've never thrown anything at Vern or anybody else.
People are on the phone right now,
going, "Oh my God,
we need to get Vern out of this relationship."
I have got angry where I've chucked stuff.
You're seriously pissed off, and what you've done is you've just you want to just get rid of something.
I do,
and you throw the thing that you're holding.
Yeah, I should have something that I actually properly throw. That's okay to throw, really, not my phone.
No,
that's not a good idea.
That's a bad idea. And I recognize that you're not doing it at me. You're angry. You're
still
frustrated.
a little bit triggered by it, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm very triggered by it because I've had things thrown at me. So when you do it, I get, you're doing it. You're not doing it at me, but you're still doing it. And there's a difference. There's a difference in the expression of that anger and how we can deal with it. But what we've done is we've actually spoken about it, and you know how I feel.
Yes.
Probably less likelihood that you would do that.
No, that's right. If I knew that it, upset you or you were worried, I wouldn't do that.
Another feeling that there might be differences in expressing is the one of sadness, how people express sadness.
Yeah, some people are very uncomfortable with their partner expressing emotions and crying and being sad.
Have you ever been in a relationship like that where you haven't been able to express your feelings or your emotions?
No, I wouldn't say I have really, actually. What about yourself?
Yeah, I probably haven't been met before in my anger. I think I was a very angry young man growing up, and I can be prone to a bit of a rah, 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 but it's all pretty low key. I'm not out of control.
Yeah.
I've never been met before. I've had people who are quite triggered by it and who've been in abusive relationships. And if I raise my voice, stepping back into my own story, trigger their story, and then it just gets worse. And both of us need to do the work. I need to be able to not get angry about things which are pretty irrelevant. And then the other person needs to work out why that is actually
a trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And emotionality is a very hard one too, because it's also nothing that we have been taught. We grow up with the whole range of feelings. We get told that some of them are quite bad. Anger is quite bad, especially as a boy. I think we're not allowed to be angry.
Well, I think we view it as a positive and negative emotion, yet I think we've discussed this in other podcasts. There is no such thing as a positive or negative or a bad emotion. We're expected to have all the emotions at the right time. It's what we do with them, isn't it? How we display them can be the problem. I think too it might boil down to holding space for our partner. How good are we at holding space if our partner is sad and needs a good cry? If our partner is pissed off and angry at something, not particularly the other person, but at something, how good are we at holding space for them to be okay with being angry or sad or all the above emotions?
That's really important, isn't it? Because that does come back to being able to be okay with somebody else's emotions.
And we're not really taught to be okay with people showing extreme emotions.
No. We're not taught to be able to hold each other's emotions as well. You know, when we might have got angry as a kid, then our parents would probably got angry back.
Yeah.
Rather than
or told us, no, don't do that. That's bad behavior.
You're not allowed to be angry. And, you know,
and stop being sad.
Exactly. Oh, don't cry.
Yeah.
Don't cry. Suck it up.
Yeah. So we have to learn how to hold space well for our partner so that they can. And there's a healing in that. If you are angry and you are sad, that's okay. You're going to. That's part of life. We're going to feel those emotions and it's normal, but you've got to be okay with your partner expressing those.
In a sense, you just have to be okay with your partner's emotions, don't you? But you've got to be able to manage your emotions. You can't just like bleh all over the other person and make them bad.
There's a difference between being angry and sad and having all the emotions and expressing it and not projecting it on the other person. That's very different. And that's why I'm okay with your anger. It's never at me. You're just pissed off at something else and that's fine. Like, just let it out.
Most times it's children, I think. or work or something.
Whatever.
Maybe we should. Yeah, but you're right, because it is about that being able to hold space, and something which we've spoken about in another podcast called Holding Space. But if you haven't heard of it before, it's all about being able to sit and listen to whatever the other person says and not make it about you. Make it about them. They need to talk about this thing. They need to express this thing. Hear them out. With that comes a conversation about how long this might take. Like, it's not this other person gets a vent for you for 3 hours until you're just done. I've got this thing on my mind. I really want to spend the next hour chatting with you about it. Can we talk about it? You are in a relationship with that person. You say, yep. And you sit down and you look at each other and you let that person say what they need to say. And when they get a chance to do that and they're allowed to free that up and let go of that stuff, they become closer connected to you. They trust you more. They want to be with you more. And they also allow you the chance to do the same.
And to heal too in that process of expressing your emotions. What would you say to people who find it hard to let their partner express their emotions to them, to hold space for their partner, or they don't think it's that important? What would you suggest to these people?
So it's about prioritizing the other person's needs as well, isn't it? So it's prioritizing, yes, you might not want to talk about this, or you might not see this as relevant, or you might think that it might be a bit of a waste of time, but the other person needs that, and that's a priority. That's important to you because you're in a relationship with them.
You might have very different ways of expressing emotionality, but if it's important to your partner to get things off their chest and express their emotions, then that's a conversation that needs to be had, that you have to maybe compromise and listen and hold space for them.
And then if it means that you need that person to hold space for you and you have something to say, then you need to do that. It is all about having a really good conversation about what works for each other. So let's sit and have a conversation about why we might be uncomfortable with each other's anger or sadness and what each of us might need in that space. I might need a hug. You might just need a listening ear. So thanks so much for listening to our Ways We Are Different. Look forward to chatting with you again soon.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow us.
And check out our website at rekindlingrelationships.com.
Bye for now.
See ya.